Come with us on a journey into Chattanooga, exploring waterfalls and wilderness in the beautiful state of Tennessee. When we left off, we had been snorkeling at the Devil's Den Prehistoric Spring in Florida. Well, we put some miles on the car since then, spent a night at a beautiful lake in Georgia, and then into Prentice Cooper State Forest in Tennessee. Welcome to Dangerous Naturist, a channel that takes you on amazing nature adventures all over the United States. We did the Snoopers Rock Trail. It's about a 6-mile hike and rated as moderately difficult on all trails. It had its challenges, but it wasn't too bad, though I don't think I'd recommend it to a novice hiker. I've heard of people getting lost or having to double back, but if you make it, it's definitely worth the view.
What are we doing? What are we doing, Katie?
A couple miles in, there's a nice peaceful waterfall to take a rest at before continuing on. I imagine this waterfall is pretty spectacular right after a nice rain. Continuing on, you'll see some pretty neat rock formations that you definitely shouldn't jump across barefoot. Remember folks, I'm 31 and have been doing this stuff since I was a kid, which gives me over 2 decades experience of being a wild man in the forest, so don't try the crazy stuff you see in my videos yourself. An incredible view of the Tennessee River Gorge and the destination of our hike, Snoopers Rock. Snoopers Rock got its name during the Prohibition era, when the fuzz would come up here to spy on illegal moonshine operations. I should note that there's a potential way to drive up here, but we didn't really look into it. On our way back down, we came across a northern black racer who shook its tail at us trying to convince us it was a rattlesnake, but it was not fooling anyone. After a long day of traveling and hiking, we found the perfect campsite along the Tennessee River, where Callie did this, and played one of her favorite games where she drops her toy in the water and acts like she's mad about it.
You're not going to be able to get that.
The next morning, I went out and did some exploring along a tributary creek off of the Tennessee River that had all the nice boulders. Is rock running a thing? I don't know, but ever since I was a kid, I've always loved running across big rocks. I don't know what it is about it. When I was young, my dad would take me fishing, and me being an ADHD kid, I'd get bored pretty quick and just start running across the rocks. I remember one time I was doing that and almost jumped right onto a giant snapping turtle. It's hard to explain, and a lot of people think I'm crazy for doing this stuff, but it just feels natural to me, like I was made for adventuring, mind, body, and soul. Our next destination was Savage Gulf State Park, home to some spectacular waterfall hiking, and a nice little dunk in some really cold mountain water. Sometimes I feel like life is an RPG, and standing underneath a waterfall is leveling up, though I'm always slightly worried that a tree branch might pass over the falls and hit me in the head. The campsites were super cheap and spread out through the woods. Even with a spigot for water at the beginning of the trail and an outhouse, I still give them 10 out of 10 for layout and price. As you can see, Callie is a huge help when gathering and breaking up firewood. The next morning, we went out and explored some of the trails. And yes, this is a trail. With over 15,000 acres and 60 plus miles of hiking trails, that can be a lot to explore. So much so that we may have gotten a little lost. Even after we realized that we had gone the wrong way, we just kept going for miles because of how amazingly beautiful this entire area is. So let's help keep our parks beautiful. A while back, I set an unfortunately never-ending goal for myself to pick up at least one piece of trash on every hike I go on. It may not seem like a lot, but I'm not the only one doing this, and the more people we get to do this one simple thing, the more difference we can actually make. One second I'm on the bridge, the next I'm on the rocks. I just can't help myself. Savage Gulf State Park and Natural Area is such an incredible piece of Tennessee wilderness. I could spend a whole year exploring all of it. Unfortunately, we only had a few days before we had to be back at work. I'm definitely putting this place into my adventure journal to come back to. I keep a journal of all the cool places I've explored and places I want to explore. So if you've got any places you'd like me to make a video about, leave a comment and let me know. Also, feel free to leave a comment and let me know if anyone has made it this far into the video. I make these longer videos, but it just seems like everyone watches the shorts instead. If you've been watching the channel, then you know that we've been on a road trip from Ohio to Florida and back. This is the final chapter of that journey, and what an incredible journey it's been. And if you haven't been watching, well, you might as well tap that subscribe button and start. You've made it this far through the video, so you must be somewhat entertained. Also, we've got a ton of awesome upcoming nature adventures, so be on the lookout for those. I'll leave you with some final shots of an awesome waterfall that you can walk right up underneath. It's what I would call another level up in the game of life. Remember folks, only garbage humans leave trash. I mean, as always, enjoy the great outdoors, leave it better than you found it, and thanks for adventuring with Dangerous Naturists. Here's a short little slideshow of highlights from our road trip. And also, a good place to mention that if you like any of the music in my videos, well, it was created by friends of mine or myself. And I usually leave a link of where it can be found and sometimes downloaded for free in the description, along with links to my socials, so feel free to connect with me.